One way to describe diversity and universal design for learning is to have a look at the user's pyramid. The purpose of this small video example is to give you, as a student, knowledge and awareness around how you and your challenges is a part of a bigger context. Be aware of universal designed solutions. They might change a lot for you and your fellow students. Imagine that all students in a group, like your class or your fellow students in a course, are within the borders of this pyramid. We know that every group of students at a university or university college has a diverse group of learners. Some of you experience your first semester at the campus, and others have a lot of experience with studying and even working. You all have different background, different baggage, different learning styles and preferences, and according to statistics, 1/3 of you have some kind of physical, cognitive, or psychological disability. All learners are different, and the individual differences that truly exist in your class is a normal variability that actually reflects the population. It's important that the learning environment is including for you as an individual and also for the diversity of the student population as a whole. Perhaps you have a different experience being a student with some kind of challenges in your learning environment. Let's see how this can be illustrated in the pyramid. We can divide the pyramid in two main parts: individual accommodation and ordinary solutions, both of them provided from the university. In the first level of the pyramid, called ordinary solutions, we will find most of the students. We know that most of you can cope with the planned form of lecture and examination, even though it's not necessarily your preferred way of reaching and demonstrating knowledge. In an educational situation, like during a lecture or an exam, students with different kind of disabilities might have need for individual adjustments. Some of these needs are concurrent, and some of them are quite individual. Altogether, the students with or without needs for adjustments represents the different levels in the pyramid. Even though it is interesting to divide the student population like this, it is important for you to see all students as a part of a whole. Both the ordinary solutions and the individual accommodations is closely related, and the ideas of universal design will show this very clearly. Let's give the student group of this pyramid a context. If we look at the examination situation as a context, and we use an ordinary written exam as an example, the majority of you can accept the planned form of examination, even though it's not your preferred way of demonstrating knowledge. Some of you might have your strength in demonstrating knowledge orally, but still you manage to write an average good assignment. At a classical written examination, some of you will have concurrent needs. For example, if you have some kind of writing difficulties or dyslexia, you probably need a computer and a text editor program, with a text editor program with a spell checker. In almost any group of students of a certain size, there will be offered accommodations to groups of students with similar needs. In a group of students, there always have to be room for individual accommodation. In our example, a written examination, there might be some of you who need more than just a computer with a spell checker. You might as well need special ICT equipment with assistive technology like a screen reader or a speech synthesizer. And then on the top of the pyramid, some of you might have need for more personal assistance in addition to reasonable adjustments and assistive technology. To stay with our example, in a traditional written exam, you might need practical assistance for eating and other elementary needs. Now, imagine how the pyramid would look like if the university or your teacher made a minor adjustment of the exam. Picture yourself doing a written exam where all students were allowed to write on a computer and there are no limitations around how many hours you can use. The group of students having a computer as an individual accommodation will be no different than the rest of the students and a part of the university's ordinary solutions. Like this, the level of students accomplishing the exam within the ordinary solution will be much bigger, and the second level will be reduced at the same time. Still, some students will have the need for different accommodation, perhaps to take an oral exam as an alternative to the written exam, while we on the top of the pyramid still find some students who will need some personal assistance when doing a written exam. The true nature of universal design and universal design for learning is to ensure that as many students as possible are part of the ordinary solutions. Still, we both know and acknowledge that some of you still have individual needs. Perhaps it still will be some concurrent needs if we just add computers and enough time to all students. Some might have need for an alternative examination. Let's have a look at a different approach. If we made another adjustments with the exam, like providing flexibility and freedom of choice, where all of you can choose how you demonstrate knowledge in the exam, the first level of the pyramid would have been even bigger, and the second level would almost disappear. The third level of the pyramid will also be reduced, but some students will still have the need for technical aids. For example, the fourth level will be as the same as earlier, because it will always be some students with difficulties and needs that require assistance to daily chores. The brilliant idea of this model is that all university staff, in cooperation with you as the student, should struggle to include as many students as possible in the ordinary solutions. Planning for all learning differences will ensure a high-quality learning environment for all, also for those of you who needs individual adjustments. If you are curious about what your role as a student are in this, look at the video called About UDL and the video called The Gap Model. Thank you for watching.